Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape, especially to what's been happening around the NFC North and the teams trying to make big moves, you've probably heard the buzz about the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, Cincinnati, a team that's been trying to find its footing on defense after some high-profile changes in recent years. But what's really catching everyone's attention now is the speculation, and I emphasize speculation for now, about a possible trade involving their cornerback, Cam Taylor-Britt. That's right, a guy who's been emerging as a key piece in Cincinnati's secondary. And if this trade goes through, it could be a game changer, not just for the Bengals, but for the entire division, including our Green Bay Packers. So what's the story? Well, after Week 7, the buzz started swirling from WLWT and other NFL insiders, indicating that the Bengals might be open to trading Taylor-Britt, especially after holding him on the bench during that game. Now, it's not just about one game or one benching, it's about the bigger picture. Cincinnati is currently 4-3, and their defense, which has traditionally relied on their secondary, appears to be in a bit of a transition. They're giving up around 218 passing yards per game, certainly not terrible, but not what you want from a team that's supposed to be fighting for a playoff spot and making a deep postseason run. And here's the interesting part. Taylor-Britt, at just 26 years old, is a versatile and aggressive tackler. Last year, he put up impressive numbers with 35 tackles, 2 interceptions, and even a sack. His coverage grade from PFF is solid at 88.6, and he's been particularly effective in run support, ranking in the top 4 in stops with 12. When you analyze his game, Taylor-Britt is not just a corner. He's a key piece on the field who can cover multiple roles. He's also known for his physicality, his ability to play in the slot, and his versatility. That's exactly what any team looking to bolster their secondary needs, especially a team like the Packers, who are eager to deepen their defensive backfield. Now, why would Cincinnati consider such a move? Well, there's some skepticism from their side. The Bengals are known for being cautious, especially when it comes to cap management and building through the draft. They're prioritizing their rookie contracts and trying to keep their cap space flexible for future signings. Losing a starter like Taylor-Britt might seem risky, but if they get a solid draft pick, like a 4th-rounder in 2026, and maybe even a player like Kalen King, it could be seen as a strategic move to rebuild or reset their secondary. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, are watching this situation very carefully. With Jaire Alexander, who's been fantastic this season with a PFF grade of 91. The Packers are trying to elevate their secondary to new heights. Alexander is already establishing himself as one of the top cornerbacks in the league, but the Packers know they need depth behind him, especially with the physical style of play and the variety of offensive schemes they face in the NFC. Adding a player like Taylor-Britt could be a game-changer for their defense, which currently ranks around 8th in points allowed per game, giving up roughly 18 points on average. Imagine a secondary with Alexander locking down one side and Taylor-Britt providing that versatile, aggressive presence on the other. This duo could elevate the Packers' pass defense from good to elite, especially against top-tier receivers. And let's not forget, the Packers are also projecting a jump in interceptions with Taylor-Britt in the mix, up to 7, which would be a significant boost considering their current turnover numbers. Their pass yards allowed per game could drop from 192 to around 165, which is a huge step forward in the league's modern passing game. Plus, Taylor-Britt's ability to cover in the slot, with a projected improvement of around 15%, and his synergy with pass rushers like Parsons, even if indirectly, could make Green Bay's defense more unpredictable and dangerous. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. The recent trade of Darius Slay to the Eagles back in 2020, which resulted in 6 turnovers for the Eagles, set a precedent. It showed how a strategic move like this can significantly bolster a secondary and turn a team's fortunes around. The Eagles used Slay's addition to become one of the league's toughest defenses, and the Packers are hoping to find a similar spark with someone like Taylor-Britt. The potential impact is enormous because, With the right pieces, Green Bay could be on track for a deep playoff run, maybe even pushing for the Super Bowl again. Right now, the odds for Green Bay to win the Super Bowl have shifted, from plus 800 to plus 500, indicating that bettors and analysts are starting to see the team as a more serious contender. This shift is partly fueled by the defensive improvements, especially if they manage to add a player like Taylor Britt. The defense, which can be a team's backbone, has been solid but not spectacular, until now. With Alexander's elite coverage and Taylor Britt's potential to become a shutdown corner, the entire unit could elevate to a top 5 defense in the league. They're already allowing just 18 points per game, but with this addition, they could drastically reduce the yards allowed and improve their turnover differential. And let's not forget the impact on their matchup against elite receivers, like Brandon Ayuk, who's been a nightmare for defenses this season. A shutdown corner like Taylor Britt, with his ability to cover in the slot and outside, could be the key to neutralizing such threats. For the Packers, this isn't just about one player. It's about creating a secondary that's impenetrable, a true sentry that can shut down the best the league has to offer. This is the kind of defensive identity that echoes those legendary years of Charles Woodson, who helped forge the Packers' defensive legacy in the past. The hope is that Taylor Britt can be a part of that legacy, a cornerstone for the future. Looking ahead, the NFL landscape is shifting, and the NFC North is as competitive as ever. The Minnesota Vikings are trying to hold their ground, and the Detroit Lions are surging with their high-powered offense. But if Green Bay manages to pull off a trade for Taylor Britt, it would send a clear message that they're serious about contending, about re-establishing their defensive dominance, and about making another run at the Super Bowl. This move wouldn't just be a short-term fix, it would be a statement of intent. The Packers are building a team that can compete with the best, and more importantly, that can shut down the most dangerous offensive threats in the league. So as fans, it's an exciting time to be part of the Green Bay Packers family. We're witnessing the potential for a defensive transformation, a reshaping of what this team can do on the field. The possibility of adding a player like Taylor Britt, who's versatile, young, and hungry to prove himself, could be the catalyst for something special. And let's not forget, the history of this franchise is filled with legendary defensive players, and perhaps if this trade happens, we're witnessing another chapter in that storied legacy being written. Now, I know there's still a lot of uncertainty and negotiations to come, but one thing is clear. The Packers are watching this situation closely. They're aware of the potential to add a talented cornerback who fits perfectly into their defensive scheme. With Jair Alexander anchoring the unit, the addition of Taylor Britt could elevate the entire secondary to a new level. Imagine a defense where every pass is contested, every receiver's route is under pressure, and the quarterback feels the heat every time he drops back. That's the kind of defense Green Bay wants to build, and this trade rumor might just be the first step toward achieving it. And finally, as we look toward the rest of the season, it's about building momentum, about making strategic moves that can turn the tide in their favor. The Packers are in a good spot, with a solid core and a clear vision. This potential trade is just one piece of that puzzle, but it's a crucial one. It signals that management is willing to be aggressive, to go after the pieces that can push them over the edge and get them back into true Super Bowl contention. The fan base is eager, the players are motivated, and the future looks bright if these moves come to fruition. So stay tuned, because this story is far from over. We'll be watching closely, bringing you updates as they happen, and breaking down every detail of what this could mean for the Green Bay Packers. It's an exciting time to be a fan, and I truly believe we're on the brink of something special. The defense is evolving, and with players like Jair Alexander and potentially Cam Taylor Britt, the Packers could be rewriting their defensive story once again. Keep the faith, stay loud, and let's see how this all unfolds. The road to another Super Bowl is long, but with strategic moves like this, the Packers are certainly heading in the right direction. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.